Welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van de Podcast Groen met Maarten Goed.
En Femmeke Cornelissen.
We zijn de afgelopen weken in Amerika geweest en we hebben dit keer gezeten met Pouneh.
Ja, Pouneh Kaufman. En zij werkt bij Microsoft. Ze was dus ook op de Microsoft campus in Redmond.
Ja.
En in welk team zit ze?
Ja, zij zit in een team van Mesh. En de Avatar Mesh, die hoek. En vooral veel rondom Microsoft Teams.
Ja, en ik vond het zelf ook echt wel een interessante aflevering en opname. Omdat Mesh, avatars, gaan we inderdaad anders communiceren? Wat gaat Microsoft eraan doen? Ja. En hoe kom je ook op zo'n rol?
Ja, precies. Nou, ik vind het ook wel heel mooi om te horen hoe zij in deze rol terecht is gekomen en wat haar achtergrond is. Dus dat is een leuk om verder te luisteren straks. Maar ze is ook gewoon zo ontzettend enthousiast. Je wil alleen maar lachen met haar. Samen in gesprek is gewoon een feestje, denk ik.
Ja, de energie straalde ervan af. En wat je zei, met name haar historie bij die entertainment studios, zoals ze dat noemden. Al die merken die we kennen, waar films worden geproduceerd. Daar heeft ze gewerkt en die ervaring neemt ze mee. En de vraag die we ook gesteld hebben was dus, hoe is dat van invloed op de ontwikkeling van Microsoft Mesh? Ja. En überhaupt gaan we straks allemaal als 3D-avatar in een Teams-meeting zitten? Of wat is de toekomst eigenlijk?
Wat is de toekomst daarin? En ook wel een leuke vind ik hoe gaat Microsoft er nou mee om? Meer van hoe gebruiken ze het zelf intern. Dat vond ik ook leuk om te horen. Maar goed, ik zou zeggen lekker luisteren.
Thank you for taking the time today to be on the podcast, Pouneh. I believe your official title at Microsoft is Group Product Manager. Can you tell a bit about yourself and that role? Sounds impressive.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I am the GPM for Mesh. I've actually had 3 different roles in the last 18 months I've been at Mesh. So we've had a lot of changes, as you can imagine, and you've seen in the media. So I began as the GPM in live events, doing more virtual events, immersive events. We had a reorg. I ended up doing what we called FARM, which is a group of fundamentals, accessibility, responsible metaverse, looking at digital privacy, looking at compliance, and as well as, inclusion and equity, and then customer driven. So that was what we were doing for a long time, building our products to make sure they met all these standards. And then we had another reorg. And so now I'm leading a group of product managers that really focus on meeting the requirements for compliance, which is security, privacy, trust, making sure all our products are meeting those standards when we release them, coming out to all of you in the future. Yeah. So it's a horizontal work stream, working in the platform and services group, a little bit more technical, but I'm enjoying it. We're also working on the Mesh admin experience and also a lot of the telemetry for the services. So it's going to be really critical for our customers to be able to look at the data and understand where they're at.
Before you worked at Microsoft, you worked at also 2 big companies like Fox, I think.
Yes.
And Warner Bros.
Yes, and Disney.
Oh, wow.
And Universal Studios.
All of the cool brands.
I worked at all the big media and entertainment. So yes. I worked 20 years in media and entertainment. That doesn't mean I'm old, but I'm experienced. So I was in LA for 20 years. I began my career in consulting. So I was at Deloitte Consulting. And then I moved into media and entertainment. Worked in all the studios, worked in developing solutions for movies, gaming, music, all the different industries. And then worked really closely with Microsoft at the last place at Warner Brothers Games and interactive entertainment. So they basically recruited me. And I had a friend come here and they said, the things you guys are doing, we were working in productivity and we were one of the first studios that actually moved to M365 Cloud and moved our SharePoint platform. And we ran all our gaming processes like, ratings and policies and accreditation, everything through SharePoint. We built workflows. And so they'd actually never seen all that work before. and used in a studio. So they were like, you guys have to come work with us.
Very cool.
Lo and behold, I had a friend that called me and said, you need to come here. And I said, I don't want to move from LA. Are you kidding me?
Good weather.
I don't want to move from sun to rain. There's no way.
Yeah.
But you did.
But I did. And I vowed, I'll tell you, 20 years prior, when I worked at Deloitte, I came and I was working at Boeing for like 8 months on a project. And I vowed I would never move to Washington because of the rain. Yeah. And then 20 years later, I'm here, But it's been a phenomenal move.
Yeah, because what really made you make that decision? What was the trigger or the tipping point that you felt what Microsoft could offer you, what you could offer Microsoft?
Absolutely. This is a great question, Martin. It's really about, I think, timing. It was about Satya, to be honest with you. I never, it's hard to say. I never really wanted to come to Microsoft because of the culture that I heard. The bro culture, the man culture, I didn't want to work like that. I worked in media and entertainment. It was always very diverse. It was always very inclusive. I liked being in media and entertainment. So coming to a software company that was, had this reputation of this old culture didn't seem appealing to me. But when the timing came and, I was told I was going to lead, an opportunity to lead teams, which would be something new and innovative, and Satya had really shifted everything. And it was really about his culture shift that made me want to come and move my family. And thankfully, my husband could move and work anywhere. My kids didn't speak to me for 3 years, but, but now they don't want to move. They love it here.
Yeah.
So, it really was about Satya, I'll be honest, about the culture. That made me decide to move my whole family here, to build a new life. And, so it's exciting. I don't regret it by any means. I have made so many incredible, brilliant people, MVPs, just the experiences I've had here in the 6 years, I would have never had, in my life. So.
Can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said mesh, and so there's this AR, VR world, and I guess things are changing,
Yes.
and I'm interested, is that generational? Is it because we're hybrid now and post-pandemic? What's the whole AR, VR? How is that coming about? What are the trends? What are you seeing there?
I think that's an awesome question. You touched on it. I think AR and VR were always there. People were dabbling in it, building it. You see it. Obviously, the pandemic accelerated. It became the catalyst, right, to really drive that because of the hybrid world, because of being remote, and the desire to be inclusive and to be present and missing your coworkers and those social events and things like that. I think that really was the catalyst. And people got tired. We talk about video fatigue. It's real.
It's real.
There's studies and surveys that show all the, the differences, and from people going from, meeting to meeting to meeting, in video, on video, the exhaustion, and just really not having that same kind of capacity, mental capacity. So I think going into immersive gave us another option, right? It gave people to come together, to do things, be co-present, really feel like their colleagues are there, and enjoy that together, right? Those celebrations, those hugs, those high fives, you could start to feel that. And then having your avatars, obviously, really was a game changer for us. For me, it's normally Fridays, I'm, hat. I don't have my sweatshirt. I'm not showered. But, we call it Friday, avatar days, because we don't want to put our cameras on. Yeah. And so everybody just has a special avatar. And we actually did a big competition here at Microsoft for Avatar Me, and, who could have the most creative avatar, and, submit your avatars, and who can do the funnest memes, so that people can just get excited, right? And at first I think it's awkward, but, later as you get used to it and you start to feel it, and as the technology advances and it looks more like you, or it feels more like you, your interactions, I think it's going to be more powerful. And, when you think about the trends, right, like obviously hybrid work, if you think about enterprise, it's a game changer for our enterprise, remote, having digital twins. But think about the consumer world. I came from media and entertainment. So all I can think about is, wow, look at this. I mean, people, customers, have the opportunity to now be that celebrity in a show, in the theater, connect with these celebrities and feel a part of it, right? Think about the theme parks, customers are demanding more and more interactive and engagement, right? So when I go to Disney, I want to be a part of this. I want to go, not just go in a boat. I want to experience, Star Wars coming at me. I want to touch everything. I want to really, you feel it, right? You just want that.
I feel the force.
Yeah. It's strong here. Really? I mean, can you imagine? And then also hotels, right? Creating those experiences where people can come in. Las Vegas. You guys, I think you were in Las Vegas. Were you guys recently in Las Vegas? Or?
I'm not.
You're not. Okay, you need to go there.
Yeah, we need to go there.
Just think about those kind of experiences. Halloween is big here. Horror shows, horror experiences. Right now you get scared, but can you imagine if something really comes at you and is chasing you and you're running and you feel a part of this? So I see gamification changing, the trends. I see theaters, museums. We already see a lot of virtual galleries in museums, people selling NFTs, building artwork, digital artwork, animation. I've been to so many experiences here in Seattle, like the Van Gogh immersive experiences, art experiences that really embrace you and immerse you into the paintings of Van Gogh and what he was thinking and his world. And so I just think, for me, coming from media and entertainment, I think that's a game changer. And it is going to be demanded by customers, really, because they're going to want more and more.
Yeah.
You told us that there are a lot of avatars on the Friday. What is the best avatar you ever saw?
What's the best avatar I ever saw? Well, we're trying to be very inclusive and be good about representation, right? So we've actually built this avatar etiquette toolkit, right? Because we're hearing from our MVPs that, you don't want to go into meetings. Obviously, you need to have some kind of meeting policies or something so that you could have templates. Like if I'm going to a casual meeting, give me a different catalog, a customizer of casual clothes or wearables. But if I'm going to a formal meeting with our CEO or someone that wants to dress nicely, I shouldn't be wearing t-shirts, right? So I think the most creative avatars I've seen, to go back to your question, has been representative of holidays, right? So St. Patrick's Day, there was a lot of people that turned their skin green, their hair green, wore a lot of garb. So really now we're starting to represent holidays ourselves. Turn red for Valentine's Day, turn green for this, pink for Easter, so those are the creative ones. You really see people's artistic ability come out with their avatars. And I think it's only going to get better. But yeah, I think the holiday ones that I've seen with skin tone matching the holiday theme have been the most creative.
Nice.
I didn't know that it exists.
Yeah, you can. You should go try it out.
We should. And you talked about video fatigue, which is real. I think many experienced it through the pandemic. And the avatars and these representation of yourselves virtually help. But do they? Do you really feel like on an Avatar Friday that it's not the webcam watching you anymore, that you can be more relaxed, and so it's less effort or less scene, less demand on your mental health? Do you really feel that? Does it
I do.
Work
I
that
mean,
way?
yeah, I really do. I mean, I have to be honest, there are times that maybe you can tune out, right? Because you have your avatar and there is concern around that. But I think as the technology advances, you will see more of emotes and emotions coming from the video and facial and gestures and features coming from just motion of the actual person behind the camera, but not to a point where you're always worried, right? This has to be a fine balance coming up. But I really do feel that way because I know that on Fridays I don't have to worry about makeup or hair and I don't have to be, and I can just use that as my excuse and still do my thumbs up and high fives with everyone. So I have felt a relief from it.
And do you also see that people then, if somebody's using an avatar, that everybody's switching, or will it be more like a blend where everybody's get to choose? And the second part of the question, is it culturally defined? Because same with webcams, some will have them off, some have on. Like what's the setting there?
Yeah, I mean, excellent, both great questions. I think the one you said around just having them on and off, like is it going to be a hybrid? I do feel it's hybrid. I feel that some people, based on their location and remote, with hybrid work, we do have the choice, right? So there may be times that they don't want to use their avatars, right? They may be in locations, maybe networks poor, maybe they don't have network, they're calling in. So there may be this combination of avatars and, photos, your video photos. But you do see when people start switching to avatars, it does kind of trigger something. Because what we've noticed is when we all start with our avatars, more and more people joining will switch to their avatars. So we have noticed that. And I think it would be great to actually, do a survey and just monitor that data to see how that engagement and retention stays if you're really looking for something like that. But we intentionally do a lot of driving a lot of adoption to get people to use it so they feel comfortable with it. Because I think at first it is, a little awkward for some culturally. Yeah, we hear that. And so it's important, when we went through a lot of our compliance work, thinking about global readiness, right? What does it mean? Some of these, attire in these countries, like, is it okay? These hats, these gestures, like, all of this has to go through our global readiness to make sure that we're not insulting anyone, any cultural behaviors, so that people, when it's released to the public, everyone can use them. So it becomes a really key thing. But I do feel there will be a shift. Right now there's still hesitation, but I think more and more usage will help people. And as long as we put in etiquettes, bring toolkits so people start to feel comfortable with them, that they're not going to represent someone else. I know our legal, they're like, we can't have anyone represent Satya, We're like, no, nobody would dare do that, But those are the discussions you need to have. This is new technology, right?
Yeah.
And you don't think about it, but it is the way I can come in and represent myself any way I want. I may see myself a different color. I may see myself, but maybe on the outside, others see me as something. So how does that transfer to my digital me, right? And how does that transfer to what people see me as? So this is going to be, I think, a big topic when we're going to start looking more and more into, inclusion and equity and all the customizer, the wearables. And I think a lot of HR and legal folks are going to start to come together and build new digital policies around this.
Yeah. You're working on a lot of new products.
Yeah.
New features. How is that something is out there in the world? So you worked on it and it's new and it's ready for launching or something like that. It's ready. How is that feeling?
Oh my gosh. It's so exciting. And I have to tell you, it's almost as exciting as, when we released Teams, right? So I think Teams 6 years ago, right? No one knew about Teams. And when we were the first at Microsoft to roll it out and decommission Skype, and our team was so excited. And I need to find you the picture. If you saw our faces the day we announced, we're all like, yeah.
We have some drinks.
We just looked like rock stars. We were so happy because we've been working so hard, right? But this is the same for Mesh because it's a V1 product, right? And it's something that it's not replacing anything else, which is different. So you have to look at product fit differently. You have to find the right use cases. And while we know that, this post-pandemic, this endemic, I should say, is changed, everything in the enterprise and work, but like, how does it really affect the way, we go forward with this? It still hasn't forced us to, use these technologies, right? We still have options. So people still have the luxury. Whereas when we did Teams, it was like, we're moving away from Skype, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to start using Teams or you have to have a migration plan. This is new technology that's bringing collaboration, cohesiveness together. So it's a little bit different. We're still learning around product fit, trying to get feedback from our customers. So it's really exciting to do that and launch it. It's just everyone's thrilled, but there's still, also nerves, a lot of nerves. What if people don't like the product, right? What if they, and so it's, and it's changing as we're developing it, right? Like think about just the last month of AI, in the last 2 months of AI, right? AI is going to change immersive experiences. It's going to dramatically improve accessibility, accelerate these types of things. So it's exciting, right? Like as we're building and going, there's still new technology coming, and we're having to adapt quickly and shift, but still deliver on time. So it's a little stressful, but it's exciting.
At time you're learning and learning from what's coming. And so this is all in the context of meetings, one-on-ones or with bigger groups, and would you also see this will be transformational for like events or communities?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we saw with, Old Space, I was responsible for Old Space for a period of time, and we saw how that changed the community. And then when we sunset Old Space, there was, sadness obviously in the community because people had built their businesses on Old Space and bringing people together. We believe like strongly the live events is going to be a differentiator, right? Think about all hands meetings, right? Like we have town halls with Satya and all these other leaders. Now you have the opportunity to holoport people in different locations and think about concerts, right? Bringing in people into concerts. People are going to virtual concerts right now, but making those experiences even better through live events with the capabilities coming. So it really is going to change. I mean, even think about product showcases, right? You have big, companies, athletic companies that have their athletes that want to showcase, tennis shoes or this. Now there's opportunities for fans to meet with them, right? And be in these virtual worlds and be the first to buy these tennis shoes, whether it's digital and then it turns to physical or something. So I think it really is a game changer for
But it does mean that you need to have more than just the avatar. Yes. That means you need worlds. Yes. You need to think about how to do that. I've also firsthand experienced alt space in the past, and it's also about audio, like somebody who's far away sounds far away. And so there's very much more dimensions need to figure out. Is that something that Microsoft's actively like thinking about on how to do this right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They have the best of the best working on this right now. So you will see as Mesh is released more and more to our customers and announcements are made. I'm so excited. It's gonna be amazing. I think you will all be impressed. And, our goal is to make our customers happy and safe, make sure that they're in environments and really, be in the trusted environments that they know Microsoft to be. So that's critical for us. But it's going to be really exciting. I don't know if you went to the MVP, the Mesh sessions or not, but we had a lot. Yes. Yeah. So you guys meet all our team too.
Well, and I think it's wonderful that Microsoft does such a stellar job of being concerned about inclusion, but also about the safety. Yeah. That is Microsoft leading the way, I would say. Yeah.
Oh, agree. Yeah. We don't want to be in the press for bad reasons. We want to have good press. Always.
Is it time for the envelopes?
Ooh.
We've got some magic green envelopes.
I love the green, by the way.
You can pick one.
Okay. Oh, that one has a little number on it. Is that? I'll take this.
And so it's also unknown to us.
Yes.
So
okay.
And if you could read the question and then, of course, answer it. So
am I going to blush?
maybe. We don't know.
Okay. I will check. Okay, question number 2. What is something you use for work that you can't live without? Can only be one thing. Wow. Can it be a product? It's Teams. It's definitely Microsoft Teams. I cannot live without Microsoft Teams because I use it at work and I love it and it connects me with everyone. So that is it.
Teams is your foundation.
Teams is my foundation, my family, my life at work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we had a wonderful podcast episode with Laurie Potmeyer as well. So for people interested about the whole Teams perspective, go and listen to that one. But this has been a great recording with you, Pouneh.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And it's so good to have you guys back here. I hope we do more.
I hope to see you at some virtual event, physical event, or some community where we can discuss further. Thank you.
Thank you.